But Detroit judge 3 others charged in alleged scheme to steal thousands from vulnerable and incapacitated people. A Detroit judge and 3 others charged by federal prosecutors for their role in a years-long scheme to embezzle money from incapacitated and vulnerable individuals. U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Michigan said Andrea Bradley Baskin, 46, a district judge on the Michigan's 36th District Court, is alleged to have used $70,000 in a ward's funds to purchase an ownership stake in a local bar and money embezzled from the estate of a ward to pay a 2-year lease on a new Ford Expedition for herself. Quote, we respect the authority that covers a black robe. This state judge and her cronies allegedly abused that high honor for personal gain by preying on the needy protected by the court, U.S. Attorney Jerome Gorgon said in a statement. This would be a grievous abuse of public trust. Regardless of a person's position in society, no one is above the law, added Jennifer Runyon, special agent in charge of the FBI Detroit field office. These 4 defendants allegedly conspired to steal from some of the most vulnerable citizens, looting bank accounts, exploiting legal authority, and profiting off those who relied on them for care and protection. The attorney's office said Nancy Williams, 59, Avery Bradley, 72, and Dwight Rashad, 69, and Bradley Baskin, all Detroit residents, were charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud, which is the one that the feds always run to because it is the one that sticks, wire fraud and mail fraud. The actual crime that you did doesn't matter. This one sticks. Quote, the indictment also charges Bradley with 1 count of wire fraud, Bradley Baskin, and Rashad with several counts of money laundering, and Bradley Baskin with a single count of making a false statement to federal law enforcement agent. Lawyers represented Bradley Baskin did not immediately respond Saturday to a request for comment from Fox. The attorney's office, citing the indictment, said probate courts regularly appoint guardians and conservators to manage the personal and financial affairs of adults, known as wards, who have been found by the court to lack the capacity to do so for themselves. The indictment alleges that Nancy Williams owned Guardian and Associates, an agency that was appointed as a fiduciary by the Wayne County Probate Court for incapacitated wards in over 1,000 cases. Avery Bradley is an attorney who, along with his daughter and fellow attorney Andrea Bradley Baskin, operated a law firm that often represented Guardian and Associates in Wayne County Probate Court and otherwise practiced regularly in that court. Dwight Rashad operates a series of group homes and residential facilities for elderly individuals, including wards, who needed support and care. The indictment alleges that the 4 defendants conspired to systematically embezzle funds from the wards and to obtain and retain money for themselves that rightly belonged to the wards and the wards' estates. Prosecutors described how in one case, Bradley, Williams, and Rashad allegedly took around $203,000 in funds from a ward's legal settlement, and with none of the money being used to benefit the ward. Williams is alleged to have paid Rashad rent for wards who did not live in one of Rashad's homes, they said. Case is being investigated by the FBI and the IRS criminal investigations. There is nothing worse. Well, there's a lot of things worse. For what we watch here on TCF, you could make an argument that there's nothing worse than a judge behaving badly. But somehow this doesn't surprise me. One of the things I see in the comments a lot here is how people can't believe that a judge does this or that. And specifically when they make those comments, they're asking or seeking for the judge to supersede his or her authority, to be heavy-handed with something, to come down harder on somebody, even when it's not within their authority to do so. They want to grant all of this power and this control over to the one person in the black robe. And I would say, if nothing else, cases like this continue to prove that the people in the black robe have the capacity to be just as flawed, if not more so, than the rest of us. So taking all of that power, consolidating it in one person or in one position is just like the worst idea in the history of ever. So for me, this case is yet another reminder that you can't do that. There's bad people everywhere. Of course, this is allegations at this point. We'll see what proves out as the case moves on. And this is another thing I'll keep an eye on. But at the end of the day, you can't truly trust anybody, it would seem. And you always have to be on the lookout and never give too much power to one person or one group of people, because power corrupts. And more often than not, it would seem, something will happen, something will go wrong. And in this case, hundreds of thousands of dollars gone missing from the people who needed it the most. So, just my thoughts on that. Hey, thanks for watching this clip from TCF Overtime, the fourth hour of our daily live show where we discuss the happenings of the court that we saw during the day and other law news. If you like this video, please do leave it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Leave us a comment, let us know what you thought. You can join us live every weekday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, right here on this channel.